Imagine it's 9 a.m. in a quiet suburb of Greater Manchester. An elderly relative is laying in bed but decided to get up for a cup of tea, and she hears a sound. Thump. Thump. She freezes. She tells herself some rats have probably found their way in. It could be the wind rattling the flue. But the sound doesn't stop. It's rhythmic. It's desperate. And then, through the vents, comes a whisper. I can't breathe. This isn't a horror movie. This was the reality for a family in Limeside, Oldham, in 2003. A 10-year-old boy named Kyle Heffernan had vanished into thin air, and while the police were miles away searching the dark woods, Kyle was closer than anyone could have possibly imagined. Let's rewind a bit. It is October of 2003. Kyle is a typical 10-year-old boy, full of energy, a bit of a daredevil, always out with his mates. Kyle lived with his parents, Anne and Anthony Heffernan, and a little sister. They were hard-working people. Anthony worked as a local labourer, a man used to building things up. On a Tuesday afternoon, Kyle was playing with a group of friends near 9th Avenue. They were doing what kids in 2003 did, climbing, exploring, testing boundaries. But then, the group split up. Kyle decided to take a shortcut home. He spotted an empty house undergoing renovations. To a 10-year-old, a roof isn't a hazard, it's a castle. Kyle climbed up. He saw the chimney, a massive, old-fashioned brick stack. He looked down into the darkness, perhaps thinking it was a hollow tube to the bottom. He slipped. In a split second, the sky disappeared. He fell 20 feet straight down until the chimney narrowed to just 9 inches wide. He didn't hit the bottom. He got wedged. Feet dangling, arms pinned to his sides, trapped in a vertical brick coffin. By 6 p.m., Kyle's parents, Anne and Anthony, knew something was wrong. Kyle was never late for tea. The Limeside community mobilized. We're talking hundreds of people, including friends from school, neighbors, and off-duty police officers. They searched the local parks, the Bluey, a local pond, and the derelict sites. Hours turn into an entire night. In the UK, when a child is missing for more than 6 hours, the statistics turn dark. By hour 15, the hope usually vanishes. As night fell, the temperature in Oldham dropped to near freezing. Inside the chimney, Kyle was wearing only a light sweatshirt. Every time he exhaled, his body sank a fraction of an inch deeper into the soot, tightening the grip of the bricks on his chest. He tried to scream, but the soot filled his mouth. Fast forward to about 9 a.m. the next morning. Nearly 20 hours since he vanished. A neighbor, Mrs. Kelly, is in her kitchen. She hears a faint "help" coming from her fireplace. She calls the police, thinking a burglar is stuck. When the tactical aid unit arrives and shines a torch up the flue, they don't see a burglar. They see a pair of small, soot-covered trainers dangling in the dark. The rescue was a masterpiece of British engineering and nerves of steel. Leading the charge was Station Officer Phil Nelson. He knew they couldn't use sledgehammers. The vibration would cause Kyle to slip further or the chimney to collapse. Using tiny hand chisels and thermal imaging, they pinpointed Kyle's chest location. They broke through the kitchen wall first, then the inner lining. When they finally saw his face, Kyle wasn't crying. He was silent, his eyes wide, covered in 50 years of coal soot. As they pulled him through the hole in the wall, the crowd outside erupted. Against all odds, Kyle walked away with nothing but scratches and a very intense story for show and tell. His parents, Anne and Anthony, described it as the longest night of their lives. It changed the way the local council secured empty properties in Oldham forever. Kyle Heffernan is an adult now, but in Oldham, he'll always be the boy in the chimney, the kid who survived the impossible. It's a reminder that sometimes the answers we're looking for aren't miles away. They're right under our noses or behind our walls. Please like, comment, share and follow/subscribe so you don't miss out on my next story about the doorstep murder and the longest-running cold case ever solved in British history.